This is the Lowco Sports Lowdown podcast. Here are your hosts, Justin Jarrett and Wes Kerr.
Hey, Lowco sports fans. Welcome to another edition of the Lowco Sports Lowdown. Justin Jarrett along with Wes Kerr. And we got a great show on tap tonight. We are trying to get Curry Kirkpatrick, the legendary sports writer who you and I have both come to know quite well. He thinks he's in the room. He says, there I am. I can see myself, but he's not in this room. So we're trying to get him in here. We're going to talk about the college football playoff, which we will get to hear more from him about tomorrow on Under the Bus, along with Rachel Sirico and Bob Stevens. But we're going to try to get him in here tonight to cross over the audience a little bit and introduce you to Curry, who is just an incredible character. Really funny guy, has some great stories, and I'm sure he's going to have some great opinions about the college football playoff. We'll get into that in a bit. You and I already disagreed on that, which is fine. Reasonable people can disagree, but it's going to be a fun talk. But we're also going to talk some wrestling with Coach Rutherford from Battery Creek. They went and opened their season this week. They had the dual matches last week, went 2-1, and then they placed 10th this weekend. Gunnar DeGroat won an individual title. We'll talk some more wrestling. No, you're not, Curry. I'm going to have to make sure I got it in the right place here. Oh, where'd you go, Wes? Sorry, we will be talking wrestling and basketball. Wes has now ditched me, but as well as naming our teams of the week. Sorry, trying to produce and get Curry in here. This room. I don't know where he is. But we're trying to get Curry in here nonetheless. Sorry, folks. We are a little off tonight. But I got to be proud middle school wrestling dad tonight, Wes, and ended up 2 matches in being the assistant coach too, apparently. But that's how it goes. I just made my way over to that corner, and because I was yelling and they were looking 2 different places, so I had to get in the same place as coach. But Truman went 2-0 tonight. Great start, and it was great to see some friends from wrestling years past. Chad Cox out there helping out with River Ridge. He popped in on us the other night, and Coach Gearhart doing a great job at McCracken, as well as the guys at Bluffton Middle are doing a great job too. So it was great to see those kids tonight. And then we've got a dual match on Thursday at home against River Ridge and Ladies Island. So it's going to be good.
Yeah, quick transition. I had a great year, great fall of swimming, and now into the wrestling mat, which is awesome cross training as you get ready for baseball season. It's cool to be able to take on a couple different sports in one academic or school year, and all the benefits of wrestling and the grind that takes and what that does to your body. How the strength train and just the physicality of wrestling really helps you in different aspects of athletics. That's awesome to see for Truman and for a bunch of these kids. It's great to see the sport continue to grow here through Lowco. And Truman's been doing a lot for the last few years, right? He's been in some camps and other competitions. So awesome to see him and so many other up and coming Lowco stars take to the mat as we transition here to winter sports. But I'm doing well myself. Just went over to see some Christmas lights before this recording.
Oh, nice.
The other end of the island had a nice Christmas light show, so went and checked that out, and now heading back here. So getting into the festive season. Got the tree all decked out, and good times.
Yeah, absolutely. We have ours all up too. I got it finished off outside last night. Christmas parade was terrific. It's always so much fun. The football game in the backyard was also a Donnybrook. We went full shirts and skins at one point. That's how serious it got. It's been fun to watch those kids grow up and get bigger. And there's some dudes out there now.
Oh yeah,
there was a legit kicker. It was some real football being played in a tiny backyard. But Bluffton Christmas Parade is amazing. And I saw the Beaufort Christmas Parade that my guy, Chris Dantzler from EMC Tigers, revived Mr. Tootie. And he was out in front of the Battery Creek band doing the Mr. Tootie thing. And so that was fun. Curry is having a hard time here. I'm not sure. He's in a different place, and we can't get him in here. He says he clicked it and he can see himself, but not us. Yeah, I know. You're going to the wrong link. We're trying to get him in here. Yeah, it was the Christmas parade was great. Always is. Got to see some of my Sand Fleas teammates marching with the Paris Island band. So that was cool. Just got, I'm not a parade guy except for the Bluffton Christmas parade because I know everybody in it. So it's just, hey, that's my friend. That's my friend. That's my friend. That's one of my softball players is a beauty queen. She was Miss Lowcountry or whatever, Little Miss Lowcountry. She was riding in the parade, so it was awesome. But how about this weekend? We had a lot of results this weekend, and I'm curious what some of your takeaways were. You got to see Hilton Head Prep against Bluffton, the boys. You got to see Hilton Head High against Richmond Hill. So what were and then just looking at results, what were some of your biggest takeaways from this weekend?
Yeah, I was impressed by what Hilton Head Prep was able to do against a solid Bluffton team that beat a good Hampton County group at home, and we'll see the Hampton County team tomorrow against Hilton Head. I believe that will be exciting. But I'm excited for what the Hilton Head Prep team has across the board, even with losing a guy like Sean Cusano and of course Andrew Helms on that team, but I'm really, really pumped to see what Connor Campbell can do because he's doing a good job running the show, distributing the basketball well, and he can fly to the rim. He had a couple of the tremendous and ones to the basket. He had a clutch corner three. So this Hilton Head Prep team, they still got a couple of strong pieces on there, and you got Jason Pritchie's doing some good work inside. So it's a well-coached group. I mean, that motion offense, those cuts to the basket, it's still all there. You lose some talent inside, of course, and all around, ability with Cusano over there, but it's still a very talented core that I think is going to get better. And I'm excited. I mean, obviously we're probably a few weeks away, but I think that's a team that can hang with Hilton Head Christian Academy, and it's always fun to see a rivalry like that develop. And you got to see it in the state championship game last year. And I don't think Prep is too far off from being a contender by, obviously it's a small sample size.
I don't think so at all. I don't think so at all. And I just think they're going to frustrate the heck out of people just like they did last year. And they were able to do that to Hilton Head Christian 2 out of 3 times. So I don't know why you wouldn't think that system would be effective in frustrating them again. But speaking of being frustrated by systems, Curry has found his way to the correct studio. And now we welcome in the legend, Curry Kirkpatrick, wearing his Tar Heel blue. What's going on, buddy? We had a little battle there getting you into the right link. I tried to prepare you for the fact that it was going to be a different link, and that if you push
I think I just didn't click. I didn't click enter studio. I think that was my problem. But so listen to Wes. I haven't seen Hilton Head Prep play this year, but I used to see him play all the time 100 years ago when Biserico was coaching him. So
that's right.
It's nice. It's nice to see him back on track.
Well, they've got a guy who was a D1 coach at University of Maine just a couple of years ago, and then came down here, and he runs Princeton, and it's frustrating the heck out of people. So you may enjoy a Hilton Head Prep game again, and you and Rich definitely have a great rapport on Under the Bus, which I know you don't want to give away too many of your good one-liners tonight. You're saving them for the show, but I'm telling you, you can work. It's like a comedian working out his material. You see what works here, and then you take the good stuff and improve upon it tomorrow, punch it up. But I immediately thought, Wes and I were kind of debating about the playoff committee and their selections, and I immediately thought, who we need to get on here to talk to us about that is Curry Kirkpatrick, because I know he's going to have opinions, as you always do. So what were your thoughts? You're repping the ACC there, so you have to be a little bit, personally attacked that Florida State was left out. But what were your thoughts?
Well, I'm not, I do have an opinion, but it's different than most people. I'm not sad Florida State was left out. I'm sad for them because the quarterback got hurt, of course, but I don't think they're one of the 4 best teams. but I also don't think Michigan is one of the 4 best teams. I mean, nobody's talking about Michigan, but I don't get it. I mean, why are they number 1? They beat Ohio State, they beat Penn State, they beat them every year. And all, suddenly they rise to number 1. I'm not really following that. The eye test on the weekend showed that, Washington was terrific, beating Oregon for the second time. Texas put on a show in the championship game, and that's what he wanted to do to get in. And Alabama and Georgia played another classic. I think Georgia's won forever. They lose the last game, and all of a sudden they're out of the playoffs. I'm an ACC guy, but the SEC has Georgia and Alabama. I would have put them in with Texas and Washington, and get Michigan out of here. Of course, I'm not a hardball guy, as you know, Justin. From
What's
our
your nickname for him?
Can I say that at night on the show? I don't know. Well, I'm always, he was suspended 6 games this year, 6 games, and I call him Slimy Jim, and he's never admitted about this stealing signs guy, even though there is videos showing the guy named Connor Stallions standing right next to him, waving his arms right next to Harbaugh, and Harbaugh's always denied he even knew about this. So, I don't believe half of what he says. So I'm not, I'm not a hardball guy, so I'm going to put him out of the playoff.
Yeah, fair. I mean, for me, regardless of the situation with Florida State, for me, it has been an accepted premise since the beginning of this thing that if you go undefeated in a Power 5 conference, you get in.
And you're the champions. You're the champions.
Yeah, I mean, and we had 3 of those. So for me, there was only 1 spot up for grabs. And then it's also been an accepted premise since the beginning of competitive sports that head-to-head rules all. And Texas beat Alabama, and Alabama beat Georgia. So for me, it would have been the 3 undefeated conference champions in Texas. But certainly,
except for the fact,
I understand that the SEC can't be left out. Like, I understand that concept, but like sometimes that's the way it breaks. You get upset in the championship game. That's happened to other conferences.
I would have loved to see the reaction if the playoff committee completely excluded the SEC, because you could, as you said, you could have definitely made a case.
It was the strongest case you could ever have to exclude the SEC, and it didn't happen. So it was never going to happen. But now, of course, it's moot because we go to 12 next year, and we get to argue about 12 and 13 instead of 4 and 5.
Well, I think the 2 most powerful men in college football are Nick Saban and the commissioner of the SEC, Greg Sankey. And so, as soon as the final whistle blows, Nick, the Nicktator, as they call him, is politicking to get in, saying the committee should choose the 4 best teams. We aren't the same team that lost to Texas. We aren't the same team that had the quarterback that was so, bad, and he was benched and now he's terrific. So he starts doing that. And then Sankey, even Greg Sankey was great. He said that, somebody asked him about the SEC not getting in the playoffs, and he said, let's talk about the real world. Let's go to Sesame Street, where one thing is different from everything else. And the one thing different is the Southeastern Conference. And he's right. I mean, it's the best conference all through the year. It has been for years. It's won, the last 4 of these things, won 6 of 8, won like 15 of 25. And when you get an SEC team in the playoffs, you're not going to get embarrassed. That's what the committee, I think, is always afraid of. They put TCU in last year, and Georgia beat them 100-6 or whatever it was. But Michigan lost to TCU last year in the playoffs. So get Harbaugh in there and let him get embarrassed again. That'll be good. I like that.
Well, he might get embarrassed against Alabama, because I think when Alabama dodged that bullet at Auburn, they became almost invincible.
Well, did you notice the celebration in the Michigan when they announced their name? They were number 1. Then they announced who they were going to play, Alabama, and the whole room went quiet. Like, whoa.
Like,
Harbaugh.
we were really hoping for Florida State.
Yeah, exactly. Harbaugh and the Dictator have played twice in bowl games, and it's been blowouts both times. I think it was the opening game of the 2012 season, and then it was the Citrus Bowl a few years back, and it was 3 touchdowns both times. So, Harbaugh knows what he's going up against in Saban.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it? The distinct schematic advantage.
What with the stealing signs?
Schematic advantage. Well, the stealing signs, that is the great equalizer, I guess, for Michigan. But I think Saban has a distinct schematic advantage over Harbaugh. When it comes to
the sign stealer had that great name, Connor Stallions. Yeah. And my favorite sign on game day, on college game day, a few weeks ago, the guy held up a sign. He said, "Connor Stallions is my porn name," which I loved. So I loved. I hope I can say that. I hope I can say that on your show here.
I'm sure we've said worse, but anyway, we'll let you save some of your material for tomorrow. Folks who want to hear more from Curry, he is one of the stars of Under the Bus on the Lowco Media Network, along with Rich Basirico, legendary Hilton Head prep coach, and Bob Stevens, former SportsCenter anchor and now WHHI anchor. And they have a lot of fun. They throw a lot of people under the bus, and I'm sure Curry's got some good zingers lined up for tomorrow.
Yeah, people should watch it.
No doubt. Or listen, wherever you get your podcast.
Or listen, that's correct. Whenever you get your podcast, wherever
you get your podcast. If you listen on Apple, please rate and review. But no, we're trying to get Curry on the Tony Kornheiser show with his buddy and my idol, and maybe that'll get us off and running. But you should definitely check it out. Curry brings the wit every week, and he and Basirico get going, and it's really a good time. So we appreciate you, buddy, and now that you've crossed this threshold into the virtual world with us, we'll have to make this a more frequent occasion.
Yeah, well, thanks a lot, Justin. Wes, keep on plugging, man. Enjoy it.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow, buddy.
Okay, take care.
That's the legendary Curry Kirkpatrick, former Sports Illustrated writer and Hall of Famer in my industry. Definitely a guy I read and looked up to growing up, and pretty surreal to get to know him and work with him at this stage in my life, and have him on our show tonight. Very cool. So
yeah,
and he was one of our very first guests because you interviewed him.
I got to interview him, just talk about his career and about how he came to the Lowcountry, and just cool to see it come full circle now with him on Under the Bus, and to see him provide his insight and humor at times to our podcast, our podcast network. So great guy, and really blessed.
At times, and he's funny all the time, Wes.
Oh, you're right about that.
I'm just messing. No, he's terrific. He's a treasure, a national treasure. But let's shout out some sponsors real quick before we go any further. The MVP sponsors of LowcoSports, starting with my wife, Megan Jarrett, the official realtor of LowcoSports. She's with Keller Williams of the Lowcountry, and she would love to help you find your place in the Lowco, whether it's a starter home or a forever home, maybe an investment property. She'll go to work for you and find the perfect spot. Megan Jarrett, the official realtor of LowcoSports. And when we find that perfect spot, we'll call on Homegrown Home Inspections. My friend Jan Lucas and his team will give you great expertise in customer service and give that home an inspection that ensures that you're making a great investment in the Lowco real estate market. They'll be your eyes and ears and your biggest advocate until move-in day at Homegrown Home Inspections, official home inspectors of LowcoSports. And then, of course, when it's time to sign the papers, we'll go to the Mickelson Law Firm, the official real estate closing attorneys of LowcoSports and our original sponsors since 2017. Call on Ryan and Tiffany and the Mickle Squad for all your legal needs. And then Hospice Care, the Lowcountry. We love their wonderful caring staff. They just do so much for our community. James Disman, the CEO, is a great friend, a great leader, and he is building a wonderful team at Hospice Care, the Lowcountry, where it's not about dying, it's about living. Those are our MVP sponsors, Wes. And now let's now that we got Curry's wit and wisdom in here, let's shift back to the local sports. That was stepping outside of our wheelhouse a little bit, but you started talking about that Hilton Head prep game that you saw, which was very impressive. You also got to see Hilton Head High's boys pick up a nice win. They were kind of unknown coming into the season, but that's a nice dub against Richmond Hill.
Yeah, you didn't really know what to expect from that group, but It's not like they have. I mean, we've seen this Hilton Head team have a bunch of high-end talented stars over the years, and it remains to be seen from this group. But the group they showed to come back from like an 8-9 point deficit at one point in the third quarter, and to rally against a strong, hard-nosed, rebounding and aggressive Richmond Hill team was very, very impressive. And Shane Brown is a terrific coach. He's been here in the Loco for a while and always stressing that strong defensive effort. And that's what it really took to get back in the game. And, they're able to make a couple of important shots down the stretch, a couple from long range. And, I like what I see from this Hilton Head team and their ability to grind out a game like that, which really I thought they weren't going to have any business in. But yeah, that's a strong forwards at home. They nearly let slip away. They were up one. They threw it out of bounds with 10 seconds left, and then defense fortunately bailed them out. But we saw some clutch free throw shooting, some good passing, good instincts on offense, and really all come together for this game. And then the Hilton had women also providing a strong performance without Linda Young. Unfortunately, not the prospects not looking too good for Young's return for the rest of the season, but we'll keep an eye on that. But still, all in all, some good signs from that girls team that made the game and we're down to like 5-4 points with just a few minutes left, and we're in striking distance until the end against Richmond Hill, which is excellent to see. And they're going to have some other girls on that team really provide a difference. And I think you're going to have to see a lot of Deja Godson, who's really grown before our eyes as a dynamic guard. So she's going to have to make a big difference alongside some others. But I think this Hilton Head team, both of them, I was really impressed with. Of course, the boys coming out with the win, but the girls, by the way, they fought really all night after trailing by a larger deficit as well at the half. So I'm a big fan of Coach Renazuski. I like the way that he's developed his program and what he's done. Obviously, the results sometimes have not been there, from time to time. But another player that really impressed me, Amira Roten, who Amaya Roten, the player we were talking about here, a 5'3" junior, but man, she could light it up. Had a couple of important threes to get Seahawks back in it, and Deja Godson, Leah Jackson, she's gonna have to be an important piece of this team. So, and then Emily Pfister from time to time, showing some good things as well. So. It's going to have to be all hands on deck without that star player. And Linda Young has really been not just their go-to scorer, but their go-to rebounder, who's really been able to clean up on the glass. And you don't have that on both sides of the ball. That's a big loss, unfortunately, for that team because they really have lived and breathed through Linda Young throughout this last few years.
Yeah, they're going to have to – some people are just going to have to grow into some different roles. And, I think they do have the pieces to kind of piece it together and still – be competitive with the style they play, defense first. And, I think they can still compete. They will not be the same team by any means, but I think they can still be competitive against a number of teams in that region, So that was a good showing. To play them to a 6-point game without Linda, I thought was really a good sign that they're not like in over their heads without her, By the way, Hilton Prep boys got beat 56-33 by St. Andrews, but St. Andrews is they've been real good for a few years. So I think they just found somebody who could crack the code defensively against them. But I got out to Colleton County on Saturday night, saw Hampton and Colleton, a couple of really good games. Hampton won both games by 5, but they were both really competitive down to the wire. Kyra Garvin and Lyric Jones both had nice games for Hampton girls. Colleton scrapped with them, though. That was a fun game. And then the boys' game was a real tussle. Brian Hamilton had a huge night. I think he had 24 or 27, one or the other. And really, Nick Williams did a heck of a job banging with Kayvon and kept him mostly in check for most of the night until he fouled out in the fourth quarter. And then Kayvon had a couple of and-ones and kind of went to work inside. And then Darius Brooks had an incredible finish for an and-one off an offensive rebound, and they pulled away and won by 5. But it was a battle. It was two really solid squads that get after it and play hard and have a lot of nice, varied pieces. And so it was good basketball in a great gym. I love that gym so much. Sounds like Bridges Prep, BA girls won, but Bridges Prep was rolling BA tonight, like 40-15 at halftime. So that's Bridges Prep's interesting. They just have the one loss to Whale Branch, and they're off to a good start. And now let's talk some wrestling. Because we got Coach Rutherford from Battery Creek in here. What's up, Coach? How you doing, man?
Guys? How are y'all?
I'm a little raspy. I 2 matches in tonight. I found myself in the coaching corner with Coach Gearhart at McCracken, and next thing I knew, I was the assistant coach. So there's a lot of yelling going on tonight. We had McCracken, River Ridge, and Bluff to the Middle out there getting after it, just kind of getting some mat time. It was a great time, and Truman went 2-0. So
That's
first
awesome.
time on the mat. First time on the mat in a few years since pre-COVID. So pretty cool to get a couple dubs. I think he was a little surprised with himself, but definitely proud. So, but you guys got it started last week with some duels. 1-2, lost 1, and then you went to Waccamaw this weekend. I saw Gunner took first. My guy Leroy Tyus second. So just tell us a little bit about the Battery Creek Dolphins going into this season and what you've seen thus far.
Yeah, it's been exciting. I just left. I got home from JP2 where Robert Smalls and Ladies Island went over there. So middle school wrestling's blowing up down here, and I love it. It's been cool to watch.
Great.
We had a ton of kids out there tonight,
Yeah.
a ton. It was great to see. And we get Ladies Island and River Ridge come to McCracken next week or Thursday, I believe. So
Yeah, it was cool. I think Robert Smalls had like 25 guys. JP2's got 8 to 10, but it's tough with JP2 because their 8th graders can wrestle varsity, so
right.
They want to pull.
They got a ton of guys on the roster though. Ton.
It's been cool. We started off with a bang this season. First night of the year, we went out to Academic Magnet and wrestled 3 matches against a very tough Timberland squad. They're pretty big in the 1A, 2A, usually in the state finals or fighting for state finals. Yeah. And then we wrestled Berkeley, 5A program with a full lineup, which was cool. And then we lost. We took our first loss to Academic Magnet. We had a bunch of freshmen in the lineup, which is always exciting. And we did well, and then went to Waccamaw where it was crazy. They got 10 matches in 2 days. So you talk about throwing them into the fire. Gunner is currently, I think, 11-0 on the season and hasn't lost since December 8th of last year. So his last loss comes to I don't know if you remember Santi Ruda. Over at Bay River was his last loss. Yeah, that gives something different.
Definitely some
wow.
There you guys are getting.
That's been a minute. So that was last year at the May River Invitational, right?
No, that was actually the second week of the year. Hilton Head and May River came to Creek, which was
That's right.
The first girls match that we had ever hosted. So that was really cool too. So
that's right. And you've got Emily Goings out this year. You got any other girls?
So
I know she's cracked the lineup, right?
Yeah. So we have Emily Going and then Ginger Atha. Both of them were state qualifiers last year. It was kind of weird how that worked out, but Emily's kind of plugged into our lineup at our 126 spot. And, she admits it. She's like, I just want to get out there and compete and wrestle against the guys. Yeah. And anytime we can get her into the lineup, we're going to try to squeeze her or Ginger in just because I love girl wrestling because those girls that want to compete against the guys can usually compete against anybody. They just want to get after it.
Yeah.
Hey, I saw a couple girls pin a couple boys tonight at the middle school matches. It's definitely
good. It was good to see the girls getting some shine over here because we had a couple of ladies. How cool has it been to see the growth of girls wrestling? Of course, we had Zayla Estrada really lead the way. Siobhan over at Bluffton. So it's not just been one, but a couple of young ladies have really blazed that trail, and now we're seeing a lot more take to the mat. At the high school level, but also the younger groups as well.
There are a bunch in the middle schools.
It's crazy. I love it. I had a girl wrestle for me back when I was at Dorman High School, and it was kind of the first really girl I saw that kind of jumped that gap. And so coming down here, and when you got people like Patrick Boulware always trying to push for those things, it's been really cool. And I think almost as of last time I checked, every school, at least a high school in Beaufort County, has a girl on their team. I know Whale Branch had like 3 or 4 last year. Obviously Hilton Head was kind of the trailblazers with that. And then Lufton followed suit, and even May River. Last I talked to Powell, I think he's got 2 or 3 girls on his lineup. I don't know if they're starting.
I know he had a couple that were kind of dabbling last season, so hopefully they're getting more in there. Because I would think so, because it's definitely growing at Reverence. There's
it's
more
awesome.
Girls, but
Blake does great over at Reverence too. I mean, he recruits them and he does the right stuff over there. I think it's been, and that's what we needed. We just needed everyone to kind of buy in and just pull the girls together. They actually have their first lower state qualifier this year, so there will be a qualifier for them. It'll be the 26th and 27th of January. I think ours is at South Florence. It's either South Florence or Gilbert. I got to look at it, but they're going to have a full qualifier. They're going to try to do it just like the guy states, and going to see a bunch of girls at the state tournament again, which is always exciting.
Very good. Very good. DeGroat got big, huh, Gunner?
Well, you know, he's big in the right way. He's a senior, and I always have a philosophy that seniors shouldn't really cut too much weight. And I don't think cutting weight should be part of the sport as much as it has in years past. You know, if
I agree,
1 or 2 pounds is not really cutting to me. If you look at some of these college wrestlers, they're floating 8 or 9 pounds. 1 or 2 is kind of where I want. So Gunner is a very comfortable 90. He hydrated for 75. So he said, we'll kind of wait and see. You know, he's not going to jump to anything, but he's enjoyed his time at 90. He said the kids are strong and they're big, but he hasn't had a problem.
But he can out technique them all day. I mean, that's the thing. He's got to be so much quicker and technical than the guys at 90.
And I think that's the thing too, is we're trying to see the competition a little bit. We'll have May River this week, and May River's always a good judge of character on what where we really want to be. So Waccamaw was good. He got 2 really good matches in the semis and the finals that kind of really pushed him a little bit. So I think that's kind of his thing, is where is he going to have the most competition, but yet grow. He's never going to be one to shy away from a good match. So if he sees there's a match at 75, he's going to go after it. So which is exciting.
Coach, tell me more about your squad this year and maybe some up-and-comers who you expect to make impacts in the lineup going forward.
Yeah, I mean, we had a great turnout at Waccamaw. We had 4 seniors of ours all place. Obviously, like we said, Gunner won it. Leroy took 4th, and then Andrew Legree, star football player, and obviously it translated last year on the mat, and he took 3rd with only 1 loss all weekend. So he's actually sitting at like 10-1 on the year. He took 3rd in a very tough tournament. His only loss was to Waccamaw. And then we had John Coker, who, was a Beaufort guy. He was at Ladies Island Middle and came over during COVID to Battery Creek. He took 4th. So with seniors kind of leading that little charge, it's been kind of nice. And then we had a young freshman at 106 who, it's the 106 is one. I have a personal spot for them. I wrestled 103 my freshman year. So those little guys kind of get me excited, but he took 4th. He went 3-0 at the first night of the season, but it was all forfeits. So, we kind of joked with him that you're 3-0 and so is Gunner. So you're pretty much just as good as a state champ. But if you know anything about Gunner, that put a little chip on him, like, I don't know, coach. So those guys have really kind of jumped in. We have a couple of juniors in Christian Fess, Cooper Livingston, who kind of popped in and out of our lineup last year, who I always tell people about sophomore to junior years with the light bulb kind of flickers, and it's flickering. We just got to keep it to stay on right now. So our lineup will be completely different. I mean, it always does. It's one of those things about the sport, which is exciting. But when you've got people like an Emily Going, like I said, a female wrestler who is going to take it to the guys. Elmer is obviously a defending state champ. We pulled him from the tournament, just try to get his legs under him, get him still back in shape. He only wrestled about 10 matches last year coming off of an ACL tear. So we're still kind of, so he was in the state finals, and that was his 10th match of the year. So a lot of people don't know that about Gunner, or about Elmer, I mean. But yeah, we got him back during regions. And so his first match was in the quarterfinals of the region tournament. So
Holy cow.
you talk about trial by fire. So he did awesome last year, made it to the state finals. And if you've seen the state finals match, you know that there just wasn't a lot in the tank. And he hadn't wrestled that much that year. So we're really trying to make sure we get a lot of those guys back the right way.
Right.
So Elmer's another one that, we have 3 state placers, and Andrew Legree, which is a great story. I love that kid. He his only loss in the lower state last year happened to be to Gunners. So it's kind of great that they're in the room together now and bouncing ideas off each other. There's a good core group now that's been really exciting to watch these last few weeks. And, the room feels the right way. They want to make some names, losing the region title last year with a tie to Buford and a 3-point loss to Hanahan, I think fired him up in the right way.
Yeah, man. How about the boys basketball team is bringing a little hype too. Were you in the gym the other night? It was.
I was not, but I heard it was loud and it was great. And we'll be there tomorrow night as well, Branch. So
and
Gunnar DeGroat's getting a state ring during that right before the guys' game. So, and I love Coach Brown over there, Coach Robinson. Like, they're doing right by those boys. And one of the big things is we're all we need and we're all we got. So, like, at Creek, we're going to be there, support the boys. Man, Q Williams is an animal. Mathis over there, he's a great kid. I mean, he's really got some great kids in that program that are really starting to fire up early, which is great.
Yeah,
man,
that's awesome.
It's exciting to see.
It's on the rise, and you're a big part of it as well. So tell me about what you expect from your region with Buford and some of the other squads, hand and some
pretty
others.
Even.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing about the region. It's with Coach Sowers over at Buford High, you expect a well-coached team. He's going to be after it. Hanahan's a historical program. They won state at Black. I think it was 2016 or 18 under Coach Ray. So they're going to be a solid team. We got to see them a little bit this weekend. And Philip Simmons, I mean, that's a powerhouse in the making. In almost every sport, they've kind of blown up the last couple of years. So I expect a big jump from them. And North Charleston, you never know what you're going to get. I've seen some studs come out of North Charleston, and with them kind of combining with Burke here and there, I think it makes our region super tough, which is, I mean, it's good for us. I always tell the people, you got to win your own backyard. So between the county tournament that Hilton Head's going to be hosting this year to the region, those are 2 big ones that we have circled on our calendar for sure.
No doubt. Looking forward to it, man. It's going to be a great wrestling season, and it was good to be in the gym and yelling at wrestlers tonight. It felt good.
Well, I'm sure you'll see me. My wife was laughing about me tonight. She's like, "It's our night off from wrestling." I said, we're on the way to John Paul II to go watch Robert Smalls wrestle." And she's like, "All right." She loves me, so she puts up a lot during wrestling season, but she knows that it's for the kids, and they appreciate it more than I do, probably.
That's right, man. Well, we appreciate you, and we'll definitely get in touch with you later on as the season progresses and keep up with the Dolphins.
Awesome. Appreciate y'all. Y'all are awesome. Thank y'all.
Thanks a lot, man. Alex Rutherford, coach of Battery Creek Wrestling, doing a terrific job over there. I can tell he's trying to watch a football game. Yeah, kept peeking up there, but they're off to a good start. Beat Berkeley 57-18, beat Timberland 47-33, lost 45-36 to Academic Magnet, and then as we mentioned, they were 10th at the tournament this weekend. May River, we had Coach Powell on here the other night. They got off to a great start. They went 4-1 and placed second at the Ainer duels. They beat Berkeley 59-12, beat St. James 46-26, beat Loris 44-27, beat Ainer, I'm not sure what the score was, and then lost to Powdersville in the finals. I saw Bradley Denmark from Bluffton tonight, big heavyweight, tough wrestler. He said he went undefeated this weekend at the Bryan County duels, and the team did really well. So wrestling season's off and running. JP2, as we mentioned, they went 3-2 at the Holiday Hustle at Hammond. A couple of guys they beat the defending Skiza dual champs, Ben Lippin. So beat them pretty good. So Ben Lippin might be down a little. But they lost to Cardinal Newman 66-18. So Cardinal Newman's stacked, it looks like. Wrestlers of the week for JP2, Chris Orta 4-1 with 4 pins. Alex Mercer 5-1 with 4 pins. Daniel Snyder 4-1 with 2 pins and a major. So great job by all those guys.
The right way. They do terrific work over there at JP2, and that's an underrated program around here in the Lowcountry that got to keep our eyes on as we go through
no doubt.
Calendar.
And I'll tell you what, our guy Jay Alfonso keeps chiming in, from Jay's Barbershop.
We'll get him on the show.
We'll get him in here for sure to talk wrestling one of these days because his younger boy, the 8th grader, is a beast. I saw some great video of him dominating this weekend as well. So Thomas Hayward, I don't think has as many kids out this year, but they've got some really quality wrestlers that Ryan Rosalib has done a nice job out there as well. So just great to see more. He went 4-1 this weekend. He said, nice work, little Alfonso. Jacob, right? Is that right? Jacob? I'm getting so old, man. I can't keep names straight anymore. Plus, this one's got too many kids. They all got J names, I think. Just messing with DJ. Jacob, that's it. Jacob Alfonso. He's a good one. Keep an eye on him. He's a good one. Watch out for him. He'll be a problem in Skeeza State. He's a low weight guy, 113 pounder or something, I think. But let's shout out some more sponsors. Let's get to the varsity sponsors. DDS Web Design, the official SEO experts of LowcoSports. So if you have a website that is not getting clicks, it's not getting the results you're looking for, you probably need better search engine optimization built in. And Dave and Denise at DDS can take care of that for you because they love to work with small businesses and nonprofits to build, host, and maintain websites that help them do more and think bigger. So check out ddshhi.com and tell them the Loco sent you. And then the Parker Law Group are friends who have been serving folks with their legal needs across Hampton, Colleton, and Jasper counties for years and have jumped on board to support us and allow us to continue to expand our coverage in those counties and shine a light on more deserving teams and student athletes around the Lowcountry. Those are our varsity sponsors. And 113 pound. That's what I thought. Oh, you teamed up with Colleton Prep? You got like a dual squad? Oh, that's fun. Colleton Prep's got some good wrestlers. I know that. They definitely got some good wrestlers. And a good coach over there.
Watch some wrestling because it's really taking off here. I totally agree. It's started to really grow, not just in the concentrated areas, but across the local landscape, though. When you look at Colleton Prep, just JP2, that's a program that is always expanding. And Neil Nutter's doing a good thing at Bluffton. I think that program is in line for a big this year. And then that
was a power until May River opened. Bluffton was a power for a while and in the lower state and can get there again without question. They teamed up and beat Augusta Christian, the Colleton Prep Thomas Hayward All-Stars. Love it. Loco All-Stars, baby. But no, it's Bluffton's coming back, definitely. They've got a ton of kids out, as Powell said the other night. Nutter is a really good coach. I know a friend of mine, Kevin Fulton, is in there helping out as well. His son got a pin tonight for McCracken. So you're just seeing the wrestling community is starting to build up, and where there used to be just a handful of people who were really into it, there are now several hands full, and they've got their hands in it, and it's happening. And it was sort of inevitable. The South was slow to embrace the sport, sort of, but now that it's started, I think it's a landslide. And it makes so much sense for the Skeeza schools, because if you don't play basketball, like, there's nothing else to do in the winter but go deer hunting, so just go wrestle, stay in shape and get better. It's an incredible sport as far as the tenacity of it and the intensity of it. Like Truman, he went the full 4.5 minutes his first match tonight, and he's like, I can't move my arms. He won, but he's like, I can't move my arms. But then, of course, he's got to wrestle again. By the time he wrestled again, he could move his arms, and he pinned that guy. So it was a great night for him and for a lot of kids who got their first action tonight. So excited to see that. But let's talk a little more hoops. Let's watch some Loco lights. Let's do that.
We had a whole bunch of Lowco.
We don't need to listen to me, but we got Whale Branch and Buford. I mean, we can listen to me here, but we don't need to listen to me in the studio voice. That was Leah Watson, who Javon Livingston shouted out Friday night. And then Anaya Housel, I do like her a lot. She's a nice player. So Buford pulls out the win in the girls' game. And then we saw this on Friday night. Samari with the steal, down 1. He misses the first. Glaze was fired up down there. He makes the second. Look at Glaze. He's pacing and coaching. And then Amani Cleckley, I do not think he's fouled there. I've watched this a number of times. Tell me if you think there's contact on this, because I'm not sure there is. He sold it well.
Ooh,
I don't think anyone touched him.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone touched him. I think Bradford went straight up, and he just, from the angle that the ref was, it looked like he got him, but I don't think he did. So great acting job by Cleckley. And then cool as ice on the second one, rolls it in, gives him the lead.
Very cool.
Got to try to break the press. I like this Cleckley kid, dude. I watched a good bit of this game film. I know he walked. Oh, he makes a great play, and then he just got happy feet. So LaRon gets a real good look. Real good. LaRon Wright. Bounces on it like 3 or 4 times. No good. Samari's fired up with this. And then I got over to Creek on Friday night. That was fun. It was hype in there, bro. Ridgeland cheerleaders always bring it. Creek cheerleaders always bring it. Creek girls or Ridgeland girls were kind of in control for a while, but Creek made a comeback. It was a battle. Very physical game. Not a lot of fouls being called. One of the refs earned the nickname Mr. No Call.
Sometimes it's nice to see them
to just let them play.
Yeah.
There's CJ. I don't know the new coach's name from Ridgeland Hardyville. I need to learn that. I like him. I like his style, though. I like his energy. I like the way they played.
Good take.
That is a really nice take. Creek's got some juice, but Ridgeland was able to pull this out. We had Ponce Capers on Friday night. He had a huge second half, put Ridgeland over the top. But Creek came back and beat JP2 on Saturday, a day later. Pretty good game. JP2 played them tough, 55-46. Q Williams had 14.
Oh, I love the center over Bluffton.
I know. They blew it on opening night. They missed the dress rehearsal, but it looks like they got it right this time. The carpet's kind of cool. That's a grown man move by Bridge.
Richie with the finish.
Grown man.
Grown man take.
Look at him. He is a grown man. And then we get some Princeton action, baby. Picking and rolling.
Oh. Connor Campbell doing his thing.
Nice.
Man,
that was nice. That was nice. It's a thing of beauty.
And then at the nest.
Luke
Denzel. He was terrific.
Yeah, this was a nice move right here. Nice.
Yeah, good setup.
And then what's this guy's name? Logan Tomlinson?
15.
I want to say it's Logan Tomlinson. He knocked in a couple triples.
Ooh, the tray.
Yeah, they dared him to shoot it, so he did.
Yep.
And then we got some Hampton Colleton. There's longer clips of most of these games on IG, and I'll get the rest of them up there eventually. Kyra Garvin, she's strong.
Yeah.
She's a good player. This Hampton girls team, still kind of coming together. Here's the last play. We'll watch more of this game, I think, some of these other games. But look at this. Look at this by Darius. He gets the offensive board. Boom. And the foul. That was a tie game when he did that with 2:19 left. It was a dagger. That was after a couple of 3-point plays by K-Vaughn. There's me. But we can watch some more of some of those games.
I love all these early season local games. We have a lot of competitive, a lot of close games these first few weeks, which is great to see. and the competitiveness between these area teams and different classifications. And we even had a couple Skiza against high school league kind of game as well, which is really fun because you don't get that all the time, but it's fun to see these going at it.
It is awesome to see for sure. Any other takeaways that you noted? Hilton Head Prep, we're trying to get Courtney Campbell on because she is off to another terrific start, but she had 3 tests tomorrow, so tonight was not the night.
It's that time
but
of
we're
year.
definitely going to get her on. She wants to come back on another time because she's off to a great start, and they've got some players around her now. The Helms girls
we
are
get to
really
see the
playing
girls
well.
play. They only had the boys. We only had the boys game on Friday night, so I haven't seen the Hilton Head Prep girls yet, but hoping to see them soon once they get back out on the court. But exams, and it's a busy time to be a student right now. But yeah, Hilton Head Prep looking solid with that win over Bluffton. I think the Bobcats will be fine. I think they're going to be a important factor in this region. I like the way that Brandon Bryan has been playing so far. Carnell Warren's provided a nice spark on the boards. That tall wide receiver ability that we saw during football season. It lends his hands to all things that he can do in the court, and he's been energized as well. I like the way that Bluffton, the new coach, I think really fits the mold that they want, and I think he's doing a good job working hard on defense. They've been pressing a lot, trying to force some mistakes, and that can really serve you well if you're able to press. Obviously, sometimes those good teams will be able to beat the press, but for the most part, Boston has been effective when they've been, pressing on teams bringing the ball up the floor. So you see how they continue to incorporate that style of things. But so far, so good. Despite that loss against Hilton Head Prep, I like the direction that they're headed early in the season. And both these Hilton Head teams, I like what the boys have been doing so far. That Richmond Hill win, that's a really quality early season victory. Hopefully see if they can get that, keep it going. Hampton County's going to be fun on Tuesday. I'm excited to see how they do against the Hurricanes and, those big guys.
You want to watch some Hurricanes?
Yeah.
Highlights? There's Davion.
Davion.
That's our guy Davion that we just had on. He's wonderful. I like these Colleton shorts. I like them. They're like the old Indiana shorts, but blue. I like it. Look at Josh Goodman. Look at this finish.
Ooh.
He's silky. This Hampton team, man, it's going to take a little time to gel yet, but they're nice.
They're going to get there.
That's a nice bucket as well. Nick Williams is a dude. Look at him, 23, putting a body on Crittenden. He's a thick dude. Oh, but Goodman, man, that's crazy athletic. Devin Allen is excellent at the point. Hamilton was on fire. That's Gant for 3. I mean, they got some dudes who can knock it down. There's Hamilton. He's buttery. Look at this. This is a smooth little buttery. Just buttery. I love Hamilton. B-Ham. He's nice. Oh, nice look. Chisholm.
That was tough.
That was sick.
Being a dude, as he has shown sometimes his flaw.
Look at this. Goodman swatted it, but Davion's there to clean it up.
Clean up there. End of game.
Yeah, it was a great game. It really was. Goodman, nice take, bro.
Yeah, I'm excited for Politan too. We talked about it a lot.
No doubt.
Been on the cusp.
Look at that.
Good follow.
Nick Williams. But then I think he fouls out. Yeah, I think he fouls out right here. Oh, no, that wasn't on Williams. I think Williams had already
that was good.
fouled out at that point, maybe. But that was a huge play by Darius. Darius, only a sophomore, Darius Brooks, and then little D, Desmond Garvin, also playing varsity as a sophomore. They got some really impressive guys that I wasn't even aware of, who are weren't really in the picture for Hampton last year that have come up. So
Yeah, I think
they've got
that
some depth.
school
There's old D.
that school merge, I think that does something, especially with that successful football season, just building the athletes that you have there, and you got those specialty basketball players that come along too. So I like
Mm-hmm.
the vibes over at Hampton County, and they credit to Bluffton for beating them over there. But I think we haven't seen the best. I think it's still just coming along. I think this Hampton County team has some high potential as we head into January and February for what they can do. So it's always gonna be tough to go on the road against a local rival. First time they will make make the trek across the bridge to Hilton Head. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
I'm pumped to see that one. And yeah, and I haven't seen the girls play yet, so that should be a competitive game too. Although
Yeah,
I
that
don't
should be a pretty competitive game, I think. I do. Hampton's still kind of, figuring it out, and because again, you're melding two programs together and different styles of play and terminology and all those things. So I think they're still kind of feeling themselves out. But I talked to Lyric Jones after the game for a little bit. Out in the parking lot while I was waiting on a reel to go through because you can't get any signal in the Colleton County gym whatsoever. Talked with her and her family, and they seem, really upbeat and positive about the vibe of the team right now. And her only thing was she needs coaches who yell at her a little bit more. She said they're too nice. The coaches are too nice. She needs them to yell at her a little bit more. So I said, well, when I'm there, I can walk by the bench and say some mean stuff to you if you need me to. But no, I think they've got a good thing going there that's going to just get better and better, both girls and boys. I think the guys are a little further along just because so many of them played football together. But I think the girls will take a little more time to gel and meld, but they definitely have some nice pieces that you can see where they're going to be competitive. And same for Ridgeland, really. I was impressed that that Battery Creek fought back and won that game because Ridgeland looked like the better team for a good bit of it. But then JP2, got to shout out the JP2 girls because they put it on Battery Creek 58-30.
Ooh.
On Saturday, and that's a nice dub for them. 27-9 for Brady Mahoney, so big time there. So
that JV
anyway,
team is killing it so far. I mean, Brady Mahoney, but it's also been some of those other supporting players that have really taken a big step.
Gracie's draining threes.
Gracie,
Casey Graves. Casey Graves stuffs the stat sheet always. She's got 4 or 5 of everything every night. So you got to have one of those kids. But
sure.
no, I'm excited to see them, and then Prep being better and Hilton Head Christian being down a little bit. I mean, they're still good, but they're not as dominant as they have been. So there'll be a little bit more parity in that region at least.
Yeah,
we could get some competitive
Star
games.
Power Christian with Devin Yard, Tamaya Hutchinson. That's going to be tough to beat on any night. But Courtney Campbell, hopefully we'll get to talk to her soon. But it's been cool to see the way she's really taken over as the guy or the woman on the Hilton Head Prep squad. And man, she is such a prolific passer and just great IQ of basketball when she's out on the court. So pumped to watch.
They play at home tomorrow, so maybe we can get her on tomorrow night after three tests in a game, home game. We can get her on tomorrow night.
That'll be a day.
That'd be
student athlete grind over there. Yeah, that's his. She'll be up for it though. Those student athletes, especially Hilton Head Prep, they are built to do that stuff.
Well, she'll be running on adrenaline after the game.
Yeah.
She'll have something left in the tank. But let's shout out the Lowco Booster Club. We've got Court Lifestyle Pros, Lowcountry natives Daniel and Debbie Court selling the Lowco Lifestyle on HHI. We've got the Barefoot Floor Care of the Lowcountry. My guy Chris Odom is the man when it comes to getting those floors clean. He'll get them so clean that your feet will thank you. Prime IV Hydration and Wellness now open in Belfair Town Village. Go see my guy Max and get juiced up with the IV drips. Sit in the massage chairs. Rooted Living Wellness. Dr. Ambrose Cole, fellow Mizzou grad, fellow outstanding individual. I guess fellow, that would mean I'm an outstanding individual. I hope I am, but Ambrose definitely is. And he's at Rooted Living Wellness. He'll get you cracked up and feeling right and give you a little pep talk to send you on your way, feeling better about yourself. And then Eagle Creations, one of the best kept secrets in the area. for those of us who need last-minute promotional items or custom apparel, hit up Eagle Creations out on Argent Boulevard. They got a great showroom you can check out. And Jay's Barbershop, if you need your ears lowered or you just want to sit around and have some great conversation and, pick up some tacos on your way in or out, check out Jay's Barbershop in downtown Ridgeland. Jay Alfonso is the man. He'll hook you up out there. And only one thing left to do, Wes. Teams of the week. Who you got?
Yeah. Let's start out with the girls team of the week. I'm going to go with JP2, the Golden Warriors, as we kind of alluded to before, but they have been rolling a couple of wins over Cathedral Academy, Charleston Collegiate, and then Battery Creek, and convincingly 75-21 over Charleston Collegiate, and then 56-30 over the Battery Creek Dolphins. It's been cool to see what this JP2 girls team has done. And just tonight, Palmetto Christian, as you mentioned, they're rolling. And, Brady Mahoney has led the way, another double-double, but Casey Graves, you mentioned that stat sheet stuffer who does just a bit of everything. And then Lily Termini and Gracie Henderson also providing some good minutes and productive minutes. So a lot of girls on that team that they can turn to, and that's going to be a group that's going to make it tough for these other squads in the region. Although the Kilton Christian is on top, JP2 is on the come up. So congratulations to the Golden Warriors for an excellent start. And I'm going to homer, but go with my Hilton and Seahawks on the boys' side. Really impressed with what I saw from that Shane Brown coach team. Luke Danzel really took over, and he was electric. He made a couple of important threes. And the team as a whole, just really executing together, digging in on defense, which has really been a theme for this Hilton Head High, those Hilton High coach teams over the years. But I think this year, we could see a big step in the right direction if they can keep this going. But some excellent work over there by Hilton Head High. John O'Gorman, another one I didn't give credit to. Who was productive at the free throw line, a guy who, always give the extra effort. And I think he's certainly taken a step up from what we saw this year. He can also shoot from behind the arc. And then Bowman, number 12. Bowman had an excellent game, made a big three late in that first half, and then made a couple of important shots from the free throw line, which helped them eventually come from behind and win this game. So, a really excellent effort against a solid opponent here at home, and now they'll get another one on Tuesday in Hampton County.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a score from Bridges BA boys tonight. I think it was not great for BA, but that was probably going to be my boys team, I think. So let me see if I can find that, because it's happening tonight. No, we don't have a final yet that I've seen, but I know it was 40-15 at halftime. So I'm going to go ahead and Sharpie that one for Bridges Prep, and 65-39 is your final in favor of Bridges Prep. So that will solidify them as my boys team of the week, I believe. Going back through it, they for the week they had a pretty impressive run. They took out Memorial Day 58-38. I believe Memorial Day was like a defending state champion, Giza or something. That was after they hammered Lowcountry Leadership 80-39, and then they beat BA tonight 65-39. And I know that BA team is kind of, we're not sure exactly what to expect of them, but they have the Gonzalez kids, and they have Dietrich Schufert, and they have they have some guys. So, and they have the transfer or the exchange students. So you'd expect them to be a fairly competitive team, and so that's a good showing from Bridges, although it certainly helps that Bridges is playing its 7th game and BA is playing its 1st. That makes a big difference this time of year as far as guys playing together. But nonetheless, Bridges Prep off to a great start on the boys' side, and the girls got a nice win the other night as well, with Michaela Lapp scoring 24. Got her a shout out on the Hoops Report the other night from Robbie. Robbie shouted her out. Girls team. I gotta go Hilton Head Prep girls. I just I got to go with the Hilton Head Prep girls. They've won 3 in a row. Certainly, there's much stronger competition coming, but they beat Patrick Henry on the road by 23. Patrick Henry is, not a bad team by any means. They beat up on the Lady Phoenix, and then they beat up on St. Andrews. And again, Courtney is doing the bulk of the scoring, certainly, but she is not doing it alone at all. The Helms girls are really doing work on the boards.
Yep.
I've noticed their names coming up a lot, and I think they just have a bunch of kids who are buying into their roles and understanding that, this is our engine. We're going to let her go, and whatever we can do to support her is going to help us go as far as we can go. And they seem to be understanding it and buying into it and playing well together. So I'm excited to see how well.
Yeah, that's been a team in the past that, these last few years, they've been able to have that solid top end talent in Courtney Campbell these last 2 years, but it's just, can you find those other players, supporting cast to really make those shots when she finds you in close, and then find a way to support what she does. So I think with Hilton Head Prep, I think the players around her are buying in, and then it's all about a question of execution at that point. Can you step up alongside that star player in Campbell? But I've liked what they're doing so far. I'm excited to see them. Like I said, they were not in action over at Bluffton, just the guys game. So hopefully get to see them pretty soon, and we'll have Courtney on to talk about start her season, because she's a special player. The determination that we saw with her and her older sister Katie, who was there for, I believe, when she was a senior, she was there, and Courtney was a freshman, I believe, at the time. So what a tremendous family, competitive group of young ladies who continue to shine out there.
Well, yeah, and then Connor too. It's a really good athletic family. Katie I love to watch Katie play. She was scrappy, dude. I mean, not as talented as Courtney by any means, but just played so hard, got after you on defense, always wore the headband. I love to watch her play. It was really fun to watch them play together. Would have loved to have seen that for more than a year. That would have been great. But
we get a couple more years of Connor. We get Connor this year. And, it's been fun to see the rise of what he's been able to do, because he was the driving force, and I don't think we won that game against Bluff without a couple of all-star kind of plays. He is an absolute dog, fearless, will absolutely drive to the nets, and just will find a way to finish in front of you, no matter how hard that defense is playing. He's just gonna find a way to get around and in the bottom in the hole.
Yeah.
So,
what else are you looking at? Where are you headed this week?
I'm heading to Hilton for
you got Hampton, Hilton Head. Yeah. That'll be good stuff. What am I doing tomorrow night? I don't know. We got Whale Branch at Battery Creek. That's a good one. May River at Beaufort. That's fun. We've also got that's it for Lowco on Locos tomorrow night. Wednesday night, we've got some good wrestling. Battery Creek and Beach at May River, Bridges at Hilton Head, a couple teams over at Bluffton. So we've got some good matches on tap, as well as nothing too much on Wednesday night hoops. Thursday's a little quiet.
Tuesday and
Friday is the
Friday night.
Friday and Saturday.
Yeah,
we're gonna get
some nice Saturday games too this week over at the Nest. That was fun. Then we got to Holiday Classic in a few weeks and a couple other tournaments.
Bobcat
Classic's
fun. May River Wrestling tournament's going to be great. So looking forward to it. We're getting into it, and we're getting close to picking the all Loco football teams and putting together an event for that as well. So looking for some sponsors to make that happen. So if you'd like to be a part of making that a reality, having a big event to honor all the Locos best, hit me up. LowcoSports@gmail.com, LOWCO sports@gmail.com. It's right there at the bottom of the screen. And we'll get you going. We'll make it happen. But thanks so much to everyone who stopped by tonight. Curry Kirkpatrick was terrific. He said he had a great time, so we'll be able to get him in here again, I'm sure. We got to get him out to some games so he can get in here and comment on some high school games with us. Or, I think he's coming to the USCB game on Saturday to heckle me and Basirico on the broadcast. So
Oh,
yeah,
boy.
so
Oh,
that may
boy.
happen.
Are we gonna
That may
cameo?
happen. We'll definitely have to get him on the broadcast for a minute or something, because that man knows more about college basketball than most of us have forgotten, or he's forgotten more than we know. That's what it is, right? But Sirico too. But Curry, I mean, he knows some ins and outs of some
Yeah.
historical figures and
No,
historical
almost.
moments in college basketball where he was right there on press row. So great to talk with him. Great to talk with Coach Rutherford from Battery Creek, doing a terrific job. Love that guy's energy and enthusiasm. And just, I mean, you talk about people who are in it for the right reasons, and the right reason is developing young people. Coach Rutherford fits the bill, and we're very fortunate to have him coaching kids here in the Lowcountry. And then thanks, of course, to all of our sponsors and all of you who showed up to listen or watch. And shout out to Jay Alfonso for all the comments. We appreciate the interactivity. Always enjoy that. Makes it
That's
feel
a fun
like
part of what
more
we do.
fun. Yeah,
when
it's
we
more
get
fun
to-
that way. Surprised nobody was on here yelling at us about the playoffs. I thought they would have been, but no worries. They're too busy watching the football game, I guess. But they'll jump in the comments later, I'm sure. But that's going to do it for tonight. Thanks so much, Wes. Always a pleasure doing this with you. And thanks to everybody who showed up to listen or watch. Until next time, go Lowco.
The Lowco Sports Lowdown podcast is a production of Lowco Media LLC and LowcoSports.com, an independent media outlet providing grassroots local sports coverage in the South Carolina Lowcountry. We are sustained by community support from sponsors and patrons like you. Get in the game with a monthly pledge of $1 or more at patreon.com/LowcoSports to keep us going and growing. Go Lowco.